Wow, I can't believe when I looked up the purchase that I've actually owned the Rep Fitness Black Diamond and Double Black Diamond power bars for almost a year now. And in that year, they've gotten a ton of use. So that means two things. Number one, it's time to give you guys a review on both of them. And number two, it's time to ask your single most commonly asked question about these bars. Which one should you buy? Welcome back to the GymCrafter YouTube channel, everybody. My name is Tim. I am the head gym nerd here at GymCrafter.com, the website that I built to help ordinary folks like you and I build home and garage gyms that we absolutely love. And at least for me, part of having a garage gym that I absolutely love is having a barbell that I really enjoy using. I know a lot of people out there like just buy a bar and be done with it, and I've actually made several podcast episodes recently that kind of go to that point. But as far as my own training goes, and I know a lot of people feel this way as well, having a bar that you really like, that you really enjoy using, adds just an extra dimension of enjoyableness to your training. And these Rep Fitness bars have seen a lot of use for exactly that reason. When Rep Fitness redesigned their line of barbells, probably in the last year or two, it was one of the biggest upgrades that they'd made to their entire product line. As you guys know, if you followed Rep for very long, they've really upped their game across the entire product line that they make, and the barbells were a big project for them. They got rid of all of their old barbells. They reintroduced, I think they've got 8 or 10 different models, not including some specialty bars that they make, and they redesigned these things from end to end. So I was really excited to get the power bars. I like powerlifting personally a little bit better than Olympic lifting, so power bars fit really well in my gym, and to have these two options from them has been nice to try out and nice to have in my gym for a while. So it's time, like I said, to do a review, and what I want to do is the review on both of these bars is basically the same. What I want to do is I want to kind of go over these end to end, show you what things I like, what things I wish were different, talk about some of the specs that might be important to you. But more importantly than that, I want to talk about which one of these bars is right for you. Because their specs are so similar, a lot of folks when they look at these bars are really not sure which one to choose. So hopefully by the end of this video, I will have given you guys enough information to make a smart decision for yourself of which one you should choose. Now, if you want to check availability, pricing based on finishes, as well as double check any of my specs, or to buy one because you thought this video was so awesome that you want to buy one because of it, please use the affiliate links down below. That helps the channel out, that helps me out. It doesn't cost you anything extra, but it does give me a small little bit of commission when you buy one of these bars. And that is how I'm going to buy more bars to test after this. So with that said, let's get to the review. Like I said, the bars are very, very similar. So they're both 28 millimeter bars. They both have IPF knurl rings, so a single knurl ring. They both have a center knurl that's the same aggressiveness as the rest of it. And that's pretty standard for most power bars today. You want a center knurl to grip your back for squats, to line up for bench press and deadlifts, and it serves a couple of other purposes as well. And you want the rings to be a certain distance apart if you're doing competitive lifting. For most of us, we're not doing competitive lifting. How far the rings apart aren't all that important, but in case you needed to know, these are IPF rings. The bushings inside the sleeves are brass bushings, and the sleeve spin is really good on both of them. It's appropriate for a power bar. I don't think most lifters are going to be able to tell a difference from one bar to the next, but the brass bushings are going to last a nice long time. The sleeve spin is going to be consistent from side to side, and I enjoy using these bars just as far as how they function. The sleeves themselves are smooth, which I appreciate. There's a lot of debate out there of ribbed sleeves versus smooth sleeves, and there's a lot of kind of guesses as to why. I call them guesses because I don't think any of them are accurate about why you would want a rib sleeve over a smooth sleeve. Some of Rep's bars do have rib sleeves, the theory being that for Olympic style movements, it adds more stability to the plates. Honestly, I just think it's harder to make a smooth sleeve, so it's easier to make something with a rib sleeve, so where you can, you do. And that's why you see a lot of manufacturers out there offer rib sleeves on all of their bars. Again, that's my hot take. Fight with me in the comments if you want, and as we go through, if you've got any additional comments or questions on these bars, make sure and put them down in the comments below. As far as the aesthetics of these bars, there's two things that Rep really did well on the redesign of their bar lineup, and the first one is aesthetics. Starting at the end, they went to, instead of just flat end caps with stickers on them, and you see a lot of barbells like that, they went to kind of a 3D pressed metal and enamel painted end cap. They're really beautiful end caps. Now this isn't new with Rep, lots of companies have done this before them, but it's really something that a premium bar should have, and you're seeing more and more companies copy them. Now I've had some fringe sport bars for a while that have had that type of end cap for many, many years, but it's nice to see Rep on this nicer line of bars go to something that's a nicer look, and those end caps are a big part of that. I'm going to jump to the inside of the shoulder. The shoulder itself is nice and knocked off, just again for aesthetics. The fit and finish of these bars is outstanding. When you look at them right out of the box, they just give you kind of a premium feel. Both of these bars have the same features, so they're both, when I took them out, I'm like, man, these are sharp bars. On the inside of the shoulder, you're gonna have laser engraving with the rep logo. You're gonna have 20 kilograms on here. These are 20 kilogram bars. You're also gonna have the name of the barbell and the type of barbell that it is. It's just another one of those small aesthetic touches that really, you know, if you're spending this much on a barbell, you're gonna wanna have something that looks the part. Now, when I say spending this much, in my opinion, for most home gyms, and most of you guys out there are only ever gonna have one barbell, I don't think these are too expensive. The price on these, and I'll go over more specifically in a second, but are gonna range anywhere from about $279, $299, all the way up to $399, depending on the finish combination that you get. And if you're only gonna have one bar, honestly, I think that's about the price point that you should be at. Are there bars out there you can buy for less? Absolutely. But if it fits the budget, and it's not a matter of needing to save the money, I really think these are worth the price tag that you put on them, and the aesthetic touches are a big part of that, in addition to just the build quality. There is virtually no play, both radially or laterally in these, and that's a fancy way of saying your sleeves don't move or wiggle at all, up or down or left or right. It's just nice and solid. And another thing that you notice on the quality versus a lot of other companies' bars is when you look at the knurling and how crisp it is, as well as the knurl terminations, that's a really good indicator of me. A lot of these bars that you'll see out now, they'll have what are called feathered terminations, where they just kind of roll off and they look kind of sloppy. And to me, that's just a lazy way to do knurling. Does it affect the way the bar works? No, but it's just a really good indication of the build quality of the bar. Now, build quality I love. Let's get to finish. These bars are both available in 6 total finishes. They're available in 4 colors, so they're gonna be available in green, which you see here on the double black diamond bar. You're gonna be able to blue, all black like you see on the black diamond, and then red. And that's gonna be a Cerakote finish on the shaft. All of those are going to have a black coating there. It's not Cerakote, it's a kind of a proprietary finish that Rep uses. I know some other company use it as well, but you really don't want to have Cerakote on the sleeves. That's going to come off too easily, so they use a different coating. The other 2 finishes you're going to have are stainless steel shafts and either a hard chrome or a stainless steel on the sleeve. So let's start with the colors. I'm not a fan of the Cerakote bars anymore. When I first got these, I was really excited to have a black bar. I was really excited to have a green bar that matches the gym. I'm not saying I'm never gonna buy a Cerakote bar again, because I've actually got my eye on one right now. But on the whole, if I was buying a bar for just my own gym, I would stick almost exclusively to either hard chrome or preferably stainless steel. So if I was gonna buy these bars again, and I did buy these bars, I would buy the stainless steel version. So what I would wanna do is just go for the silver stainless steel, not worry about the color. And the reason for that, and you're seeing this in the close-ups on the screen, is that Cerakote is going to nick and chip. It's just gonna happen. As careful as I am with this, now this is a working gym, I do train people here, so I don't have control of the bars 100% of the time, but there's just times where you're gonna, the front of the bar is gonna hit, or the bar is gonna hit like the front of a J cup, or it's gonna hit an upright, or as you're putting them back on the rack, there's just sometimes things you're gonna knock into stuff. Same thing if you're using like a landmine and a landmine jack. There's just times where the Cerakote is going to kind of just come off, and in my opinion, once that happens, to me, it bugs me. Now, I've got a little bit of OCD, so it bugs me more than most. I know some of you guys out there like, hey, it looks like I used my bar. Like, that's what it's supposed to look like, right? So it's just a matter of does that type of thing bother you or not? The other thing that I'll tell you about Cerakote is, and this can be a good or a bad thing depending on what you're looking at, is that it does come between your hand and the feel of the knurl. Now, I'll tell you, the knurl on both of these is great, and we're gonna talk a lot about that when we compare the two and talk about which one you should buy. But when you have raw stainless steel, you're gonna have a better feel between you and the bar. There's just a little bit more bite to the knurl. It's a little bit better feel in my opinion. And also stainless steel is just gonna be the most corrosion resistant. As far as the sleeves go, I honestly don't care. If you wanna save the 20 bucks or 50 bucks or whatever it is to go with hard chrome over stainless steel on the sleeves, they're slightly different colors, so the hard chrome is gonna be a slightly different color than the stainless. However, Durability wise, I think hard chrome is a great material for the sleeves. I don't know that there's a huge difference. The only real reason to get end-to-end stainless is if you just want them to be exactly the same color. Again, with my OCD, that's the finish that I would pick. But in the end, I don't think it really matters which one you go with if you're shopping at home. Now, one note on the stainless steel from Rep Fitness. I used to own their original Power Bar and Power Bar EX, which are the older versions of both of these bars. Both of those bars did start to develop rust. Rep's stainless steel did have a reputation for developing rust depending on the climate that you were in. Mine weren't terrible, just a couple little tiny specks inside the knurl here and there, but it did happen. In other areas that are real humid or by the ocean, those did rust a little bit more. And then if you were in the desert, it didn't affect you at all. Rep's new stainless steel is a completely different grade of stainless steel. There are no issues with it rusting. I always get questions on this. So for those of you who are familiar with that and you're a little leery to buy a stainless steel bar from Rep, you can do it with confidence now. You're not gonna have to worry about anything rusting at all. And that's something that's really important to point out because I know this held some of you back from going with a Rep bar, and that shouldn't. Now let's talk about the black on the sleeves. And this is a personal preference thing. The black on the sleeves is gonna wear off, and it's gonna wear off quick. You're gonna see marks of two types on the sleeves, and you're seeing that on the overlays on the screen right now. Some of the scratches that you see are going to be where the metal on the plates actually took the coating of the sleeves off. Other of the little silver marks are actually the metal from the internal collars of the plates rubbing off on the sleeves. When you first get your bar and you've got this nice, pretty, pristine bar and you put that plate on for the first time and you've just got a single, because it happens every time you put plates on, you got this single silver streak and some scratches, it just stands out like a sore thumb on this brand new fresh sleeve. So when I first got these, I was like, oh man, this looks bad. Now, like I said, I've had these for a year and you can see that there are so many scuffs and scratches on them now that it just looks kind of like a worn sleeve. So it's not as bad once you've had it for a while. However, it is not going to look great forever. And that's why I'm saying between the nicks and chips on the Cerakote and the way that these black sleeves look, for me personally, I'm gonna stay away from and steer clear of colored sleeves, colored shafts for now, with some very rare exceptions here and there as I review stuff going forward for the channel. As far as what you buy for yours, it is not a functional thing. It's not gonna change how the bar works. It's just you need to know about how the thing looks and how it's going to look and how that look is going to wear down the road. Also, Cerakote, depending on the color, will wear off over time. Now, I've found no wear where these bars are gripped in the year that they've been used. They've seen quite a bit of use, but if you look at some other channels, you will see on some bars that get some real heavy use that you do start to see the Cerakote wear off over time, and that's true no matter who does the Cerakote. There are three companies, if you're gonna get a Cerakote bar, that I would recommend. Rep does a great job, Rogue does a great job, and American Barbell, who actually American Barbell was the very first company to do Cerakote. They've been doing it longer than anybody else. They probably do the best job overall. But of all the companies out there doing Cerakote, I think those three do it the best right now. And by best, what I mean is it's the most durable, it's the most evenly applied, and it's the least difference between your hand and the knurl. But like I was saying before, you know, if you have a medium aggressive knurl like you have on this black diamond bar, you slap some Cerakote on here and it's just a touch less aggressive. You have the super aggressive mountaintop knurl on the double black diamond bar, you put a little bit of Cerakote on there and it just takes just a tiny bit of the bite off of it. And that might be something that you want. Like you might want, you know, for me, I prefer the feel of the stainless steel black diamond, but I prefer the feel of the Cerakote double black diamond just because of the way that Cerakote affects the feel of the knurl. So that's kind of the looks. Now let's talk about the big difference between these two power bars, and that is the knurl. The black diamond, like I said, has a medium aggressive, what's called volcano knurl, which is basically, instead of sharp pointy things, they scoop out the top of the points of the knurl, and that's what gives you the grip of the bar. And this is really my preferred knurl for most people. It does feel a little bit dulled with the Cerakote, but again, man, I wish I could just have you guys reach through the camera. It is a tiny difference. Because I play with barbells all the time, I can tell the difference. I've tried to show it to other people and not everybody can tell, but there is a slight difference. I do think that the stainless steel has a little bit more bite. So if you're looking for a volcano knurl like this, with the most bite on it, I think this in stainless steel is the right way to go. I think this in stainless steel is the right way to go, period. But that's really gonna be the difference. The double black diamond has what's called mountaintop knurl, and it's these really tall, pointy little sharp daggers. And they kind of hurt a lot of people, to be real honest. Now, a lot of you out there who are seasoned power lifters, where you've got calluses on your hands, the thickness of the soles on your shoes, you're gonna type a comment in the YouTube video right now and go, you're crazy, that thing's not all that sharp. Trust me, I train just ordinary average folks in this gym, and every single person that reaches for a power bar between these two reaches for the black diamond. I almost never have somebody want to use the double black diamond. And this is how you decide between them. If you are buying a bar and it's going to be your only bar, the easy choice is the black diamond bar. I would not buy the double black diamond bar as your only bar. If you're buying a bar just for deadlifts, rows, squats, maybe bench press, although I don't really think that the aggressive knurl helps with bench pressing all that much. But if you're buying it just to be a dedicated powerlifting bar and it's a secondary bar, the double black diamond is something that you may want to look at depending on how aggressive of a knurl you want. And that's where it comes in. I think even this, if you've got like a multi-purpose or a mixed use bar and you're looking for a dedicated power bar, but you don't want something super aggressive, then the single black diamond is a good way to go there. But here you really want two qualifications. Number one, you want those shoe leather calluses on your hands, and you want to really know that you want something that's an uber aggressive knurl. The knurl on this isn't as kind of cheese gratery as you'll see on their old Power Bar EX, because they increased what's called the TPI. The points of the knurl are a little bit closer together, so kind of like somebody laying on a bed of nails, if you've ever seen that old carnival trick. The reason that they don't impale themselves is the nails are really close together. That's kind of how the shorter TPI or the smaller TPI on this works, but it's still a very aggressive knurl, and those points are still pretty sharp. So that's how you decide between the two. And another thing, having used this for a year, I didn't realize until it happened, there's kind of a drawback of this type of a knurl, and that's that because it's a sharp point, it's a little bit delicate. Delicate might be too strong of a word, but if you look, and again, you'll see on the overlay on the screen right now, I knocked this into an upright, and not real hard, and it bent a lot of the tips where it hit that metal. Because they're just points, if you could think about, a knife that's not made of the hardest steel, and you stick the point of the knife into something hard, that tip breaks off sometimes or bends, and that's exactly what happened with this. Not only that, all of the Cerakote where those tips bent came off right away. So now there's this kind of silvery blotchy part on the end of my barbell, and I didn't realize just how careful you need to be with this type of a knurl. And this knurl, the knurl itself would never be affected by hitting it into something, even if you knock the Cerakote off. Whereas with this, if you do have metal on metal contact, you're gonna have an issue. So hopefully that's enough to help you guys decide between the two. Like I said, it's really gonna be those two things, is dedicated power bar, and really secondary to something that you would use all the time, because I would not use this for high rep movements, whether it's high rep curls, high rep rows, high rep presses. Definitely not using it for any type of ballistic movements like snatches or cleans or hang cleans or anything like that. I'm not using this bar for that. You want a different bar for that. With this, I could probably use this bar for almost all of those movements. Now, technically speaking, I don't want to use this bar for the Olympic movements because the center knurl and your chest may have some disagreements, but overall, this is going to make a much better, just kind of all-purpose, this is my only barbell bar. So there you go, there's the two bars. As far as price point goes, I think they're $20 different. The EX is $20 different in the colored version and $50 different once you get to stainless steel. I think it's harder to make this type of knurl out of stainless steel, but this one tops out at $399 in stainless steel. This one tops out at $349 in stainless steel. Always kind of on sale. Again, check the links below. That'll take you to the current price and inventory availability, as well as any colors that they have available. And like you said, you should probably use those links because it helps me out, and I'm a nice guy and you want to help me out, right? But hopefully that helps. If you do have any questions on these bars, like I said, they've been here for a year. Go ahead and put those in the comments below. As always, I do like to be transparent with you guys. I've had these for a year and I will be selling them. I am gonna be on to other bars to test in the gym. And as much as I've liked these, I am selling them. I will tell you, if it was just my gym, I probably would sell the double black diamond because I have another bar that I like better for this slot. But as far as just a power bar goes, if it was my own gym and I wasn't doing YouTube for a living, I would probably keep this bar. I really, really like the Black Diamond bar. I don't think you can go wrong as far as value for the money, the fit and finish, the quality of construction, the different variety of colors available. This is a really, really hard bar to beat. So there's the review of those two guys. I appreciate you guys hanging on until the end. As always, I appreciate you guys watching the reviews, giving me the feedback, all the likes and subscribes and all that kind of stuff. That really helps out. That keeps me coming back for more. And until the next review, I'm Tim with GymCrafter.